Hi everyone, welcome to Homerino Collectibles, where today we're going to be doing a review of the 25th Anniversary Edition Batman Bundle. Now this comes with, on the right, we have the Blu-Ray of the 1989 Batman movie, which has the same Blu-ray features as any previous Blu-ray of this film gone before, so all the special features and everything are exactly the same. And then on the left, obviously, the main part of the review is the 1989 Michael Keaton Batman, which is just something that everyone who is a Batman fan has been hoping for in this scale. Now there's also another edition, which is like the deluxe edition, which gives you a different Blu-ray, whereby it just gives you an extra one or two special features, and it's just in a nice case and whatnot. But this is the standard Blu-ray edition, and as you can see, it has this sticker on. Now sometimes the sticker will also be on the box as well, and if you just want a bit of a close-up on that sticker, that is exactly what it says. So it basically says you have to buy this with the figure. You can't buy this particular one without the figure if it's got the sticker on, and vice versa. So if you see one of these in a shop, this was a Toys R Us exclusive, and it's already very rare. It was also sold on the NECA eBay site. There was a certain limited amount on there that were being sold, as a set. But if you ever see this in any other shop and they have that, chances are they may have some of those lying around, whether they're on a shelf with it or somewhere else. If you see one, remember to ask, because these things are pretty, they're getting pretty rare. Not the other version, the game version is pretty much everywhere, anywhere that will sell collectibles, maybe a comic book shop or whatever. But if you see this sticker, then definitely ask them if they have one of these figures. And as a quick look inside, this is what the disc looks like. And moving on now to the packaging of the figure itself. Now, many people have stated that this looks like the classic Kenner packaging. Well, it actually doesn't. Both Kenner and actually Toy Biz were both making Batman toys at the time, and both made 1989 Batman toys. I actually have my brother's versions of them, or at least some of them anyway. So it's really awesome for me to get this and have some actual, classic 89 toys, which is just awesome. But this is actually what the Toy Biz boxes look like, not the Kenner ones. And you can go ahead and just type in 89 Toy Biz or whatever on Google, and you will see that it looks like this. So there was the Joker with the squeeze it, the water that came out the flower and whatnot, and there was a Batman with a belt that had like a grappling hook in the belt. I have those, and that was actually Toy Biz. And then moving on to the back, if you want to go ahead and read this newspaper article on Batman, there you go. And then we have this really nice image of Batman. So this is the prototype, and it says here, the actual thing may vary from the prototype. This has more detail. He has stubble on his face, which this guy does not. And the cape looks a bit more it looks a lot more like leather, and it's got like a stitched effect around the bottom, which this one doesn't, or at least that I can't see in the box anyway. But we'll take a closer inspection once we get it out. But yeah, very nice packaging. This is very nice for mint in box collectors too, with how clear the package is. You can see everything inside there. The accessories are just there in a little bag, so perfect for you guys who do not like to take your figures out of the box. But I do, and if I was a mint in box collector, I would be itching to get this thing out. There's no way I'd be able to keep this thing in here. So let's go ahead and open it up and take a closer look. And here is Batman out of the packaging, and something not too great happened after I took it out of the package, and I'm just going to go ahead and show you right away. Yeah, the leg came right off. Basically tried to move it and it just snapped straight away. So right at the peg right here, which you can see there, just snapped clean off. The peg seems to just go straight through to the other leg, and so yeah, something very strange is that this peg actually looks like it's connected to there where it's split from, and that rotates when I move this leg, which you might be able to see moving in there, which kind of looks like on this specific figure they were connected together, so that if you move the one leg, the other one would have probably gone with it, and maybe it shouldn't have been like that. Maybe it accidentally molded to it or something, and it just snapped, or maybe I don't know what happened, but basically it wasn't in there properly, and yeah, that snapped and that came off, and that's not very good. So whatever happened, not too great, but it is not the end of the world, because if I just rest it in there, I can still move the leg. Like if I push it in and move it, like that sits in the hole, and I can still use the articulation there. And also, because of the rubber pants that are here, if I put the leg in, it actually holds it. So, and he actually stands perfectly fine on it and everything. Like the rubber sitting on this kind of matte surface actually generates enough friction to actually just hold that there, as you can see. So the leg is not attached, but it kind of is. So it's not the end of the world, but it is a broken figure. And I gotta say, when that happened, I just could not speak. I was holding this thing in my hands like, oh my god, you know, this is my favourite figure right now. This is the best figure in my collection, even with one leg. It is still my favourite figure, but yeah, I could not speak when that happened. But like I say, it's not the end of the world, because I can still use him and he will still stand perfectly fine. But I will be trying to track down another one. Not the cheapest things in the world. Can't find them in the UK. So yeah, if anyone out there is selling one, or if you have one or have a spare one that you wouldn't mind selling, I mean, you know, just maybe a bit cheaper than I got this would be very nice. Just message me and let me know if you are selling one, because that would be a great help, and it would mean a lot. But yes, so yes, that is a bit of a bad quality control issue, the fact that it does lose its leg. But that may be just on mine. You know, there might be no other, you know, breakages like that out there. I have no idea. But yes, so one of the things I was going to point out is that I actually love the fact that it was made by NECA and not DC Collectibles, so maybe we would have less problems like that with brittle plastic, with hands and feet breaking like we keep on getting from DC Collectibles. And then that happened. So yeah, very, very disappointed, but at the end of the day, it's still fine, really, so I don't mind too much, but you know, inside I really do. But anyway, reviewing the figure with this break behind me, it is absolutely fantastic. This cape is really, really awesome. The fact that they do bunch it up in the packaging, it does leave some creases in there, like a bit more creases than the Darth Vader cape from Black Series. It's a little thinner than that. But the creases do come out. So the bottom of the cape, it is shaped, as you can see. And no, it does not have a trim around the edge like it does in the prototype pictures, so it is a completely different cape as to those pictures. As you can see, you can kind of see through it there. So a little bit thicker maybe would have been better, but it's very nice as is. As for the head, this is absolutely fantastic. So we get a nice textured cowl here. The ears are very rubbery, so if you have one that is molded or bent or anything in the package, it's very easily to come back. Like I said, not really any shading on the face there. We have some paint on there for the lips. It's just black eyes, you know, there's no blue eyes, blue Michael Keaton eyes, and there's no stubble on there, just like on the prototype images. However, we do actually have dots in the cowl there. I'm not sure if you can actually see that on the camera, but there are dots molded in underneath the nose, you know, i.e., you know, nostrils, so that he can actually breathe. But if you move the nose piece out of the way, he has actually got a molded nose under there. There you go, you can kind of see that there. So that leads me to believe maybe he does actually just have an entirely molded head under there. So maybe we may have one, maybe a returns version, you know, with like a half-destroyed cowl or something. That would be really cool. But yeah, it's just very unmistakably Michael Keaton. That is an absolutely fantastic rendering. NECA are just spot on with their face sculpts. So moving down the body, basically, obviously, no other shading throughout. The belt is just a plain old yellow, and so is the logo right here, but painted very, very nicely. As we can see, I have a little bit of a marking on there, but some of it did kind of rub off, so if I work on that, I can probably make that to blend in. We have a bit more of a glossy kind of a paint down here on the gauntlets. Very, very nice moulding. And the gloves, you can actually see, like, there's actually textured molded in there, so basically it looks like it's actually wrinkles on an actual leather glove. We have the nice little moldings in there, the little dots and whatnot that are on the gloves, so that looks really, really cool. The entire chest piece here is a bit of a kind of rubbery kind of plastic that sits over a central body. I'm just going to let this leg go because it's kind of hard to hold it up as I do this, but it's kind of a thing that just sits over a central body piece there, but very, very nice moulding onto the back. And then this entire butt and crotch waist piece thing is all kind of floating there around the joints, and it is rubbery so that it doesn't impede articulation. And then going down to the legs, very, very nice detail down here. And then we got some glossy bit on the back. So yeah, very, very nice overall. Very cool stitching on the seam work there on the back of the head. Very, very cool figure. I mean, they definitely really have put a lot of work into a sculpt to make this just pretty much perfect in terms of movie accuracy. And for a figure this size, that is absolutely fantastic. So we do actually get some accessories with this. We get interchangeable hands. So we have the open hand right here, and you can fit this grapple gun inside there. So I'll show you both sides of that. Very, very nice detail there. And that fits in very, very nicely, very easy to put in place. And the Batarang fits in this hand right here, which has the little hole in, which it kind of gets in that way, but I'd be worried about losing that. It is a bit easier to have it sit upright that way. And just to show you, it has nice silver detail on the tips, has some bit of paint splotching on here, but I have tried, as you can see there, it does scratch off very easily, so I can just get that back down to plain black very easily. But it's a very nice Batarang, but it is actually easier to have him hold it in this hand too by just simply slotting it in, and it kind of wedges in there between the fingers, looking like he's holding it a bit more securely as well. So that is very, very nice there. And then he also has the two fists, which he has one there and then one for the other side too. So you get some really nice accessories with this guy. Let's go over the articulation right here. So first of all, the head, he can probably move more than Michael Keaton actually could in this suit, because he can move it left and right. And as you can see, the cape kind of moves with it, so that's very nice. And this is all very rubbery plastic, so it moves very well over the shoulders. You do get a bit of up and down, and I say a bit, it's not too much, but like I say, probably more than he actually could. So the arms, they come out to pretty much a full 90 degrees for both of them, and do a full 360 degree rotation there. And then we have the elbow hinge, which comes to about 90 degrees, and you also get the rotation right there, which isn't too bad because it means that we get this nice flush bicep right here. The rotation is down here at the wrist because they are just on ball joints inside there, so they can do anything that the ball lets them to, so they rotate and do a bit of pivoting and whatnot. As you can see, they are just a ball joint connection right there. And then over to the ab crunch. It goes back a little bit, not too much, but it goes forward very, very well. It kind of feels like it has two in there, like a double ball. But yeah, very, very nice ab crunch. And this obviously goes over the belt, and you can obviously push it underneath if you wish, for just when he's standing straight. And then he also obviously has left and right on that ball too, so very, very good articulation there. As for the legs, if you're like me, you are kind of limited to articulation of the one leg, but I'm just going to hope that you're not. But it goes all the way up and then all the way back too. So this is very, very good plastic right here, or should I say rubbery plastic, or whatever the hell that's made out of. Very, very pliable, so very nice. And then all the way out to the side too. So like I said, probably even more than he did in the actual suit. And he also has a thigh rotation right there. So as for the knee, it moves almost 90, but not quite, but that's perfectly fine for all the movement that you're ever going to need out of this figure. And the sculpt there is fantastic, so it doesn't actually look too bad. That's one of the best looking knee joints that I've seen, you know, no horrible joints inside there. And it also rotates at that joint too, so it's kind of a boot rotation. And then down at the foot we get the up and down movement, which this piece is actually flexible and separate, so it works perfectly fine. You also get left and right, and then you get a bit of ankle pivot there too, and it has peg holes in the bottom of the feet, and you get a nice bit of sculpting around the edge of the boot there too. And for a size comparison, Batman stands just under 7 inches tall to the top of the head, so he's just a tiny little bit smaller than the Arkham Origins Batman, and just a tiny little bit bigger than a DC Universe Classics Batman body mold. So he actually works in scale with both your DC Collectibles figures and pretty much most of your DC Universe Classics figures. So this is an absolutely fantastic scale to have your Batman in, because it means that whatever you collect, Michael Keaton will fit perfectly on your shelf. And as you can see, he stands perfectly in scale with other NECA figures, just like this Quagrandrix figure right here. So this thing is absolutely fantastic. I definitely recommend it. Hopefully yours doesn't break like mine, and like I said, I'm going to be trying to hunt down another one. So like I said earlier, if anyone is selling one or wants to help me out, then go ahead and let me know, whether it be in the comments or personal message me. But the sculpt, the articulation, the likeness of Michael Keaton, I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic, and I definitely do hope that they bring out a Joker. That would look awesome. And what I would also love is a Christopher Reeve Superman. That would just be so awesome. It definitely would. I mean, having a kind of Superman suit made out of this same material, you know, put over a really nice body mold, I think that that would just be an absolutely perfect figure, so they definitely need to get on that. So thanks for watching, guys. That is the end of the review. So if you want to check out any pictures of this guy or anything else from my collection, go ahead and check out my Instagram and Twitter. It's Homerino123 for both, and the links are in the description below. If you liked the video, go ahead and click on that like button, and if you want to see more like this, then go ahead and subscribe. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.